When my soul is in turmoil, my heart nearly always defaults to an old hymn. Peace like a river, so deep and so calm. Wonderful peace, like to the strains of an evening psalm. I have peace, sweet peace. And then it goes into the chorus. And I tell you, perhaps the most satisfying feeling is one of peace, isn't it? Don't you want peace? Philippians chapter 4 says, not to be anxious about anything, but present your request to God, and his peace will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. And in my oil painting here, around 11 by 16 and rendered on extra rough linen canvas, this painting is of water lilies resting quietly on a very smooth surface of a still pond that evokes a sense of peace and serenity. I mean, don't you want to be in this scene? It's a beautiful day. You can see a blue sky in the reflection of the water, white clouds all mirrored there on the surface of the pond. And I confess that my inspiration for my color scheme was Claude Monet, the French Impressionist who was famous for his water lily paintings. Everything is pastel blue and green, with hints of lilac tones on the undersides of the petals and yellow in the center. I did each petal individually, and some of them not very good. I'm looking at it closely, and I can see something here that's been worked over. Oh, anathema. Oh, death. Oh, anarchy. You never work over painting, oil painting especially. You just let it stay as it is, fresh as it is. But I can see that I worked over some of those white petals. They were not easy to do. Sometimes the canvas had to be turned upside down, and I painted from the inside of the lily out. But do you see the blue streaks coming through the sky, the reflection of the sky? Those few streaks, just a few, help you read that these are lilies on water and not just lilies floating in the air or lilies sitting on a piece of glass. But just those few lines help you see that it's a calm day on the pond. When I was released from the hospital after almost 2 years, it was a long time. I was released in, I think it was April of 1968. And my hopes of going to the school I was intending to go to, the one at which I was accepted and registered, Western Maryland College, I didn't have transportation to get there. But my girlfriend was going to the University of Maryland, the Baltimore County campus. And so she said, well, I know you love art. Why don't you come and take classes with me? Because you have to understand, I didn't know my potential. I didn't know that I could have been a teacher. I didn't know that I could have been an educator or an architect. I mean, it just wasn't in my realm of possibilities. People like me back in the 60s who broke their necks, many of them didn't live. And so this was unknown territory for me and everybody else. But my girlfriend, Diana, saw that I had an interest in art. She was already going to the University of Maryland. And so she said, well, come along. I'll get you up early and we'll make your first class in time. And so I took several art appreciation classes. And it was there that I really gained an interest in painting and drawing. And so I started in on it. And before you know it, just the second year that I was at the University of Maryland, they did an art show in Baltimore. My paintings were showcased. A producer of the NBC Today show saw that interview and asked me to come to New York. I was interviewed by Barbara Walters in 1974, and before you know it, bang, everything happens. The Joni book is written, the movie is being planned. The Gillette Corporation, the executives saw my interview on the Today show, and they saw that I was using, because I did a little drawing for Barbara Walters, they saw I was using a what they called a flare pen. Back then, Gillette made felt tip pens, and their brand was called Flare. And so I'm talking to Barbara Walters about, I use a Flare pen to do this and that. And of course, the executives from the Gillette company and their marketing people were very excited that I gave them a little public relations without them even paying for it. And before you know it, they were sending me around the country on tours where I took my artwork and I did art shows. And that was an incredible experience to have art shows in downtown Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Atlanta. It was an amazing time in my life. Needless to say, I never got back to the University of Maryland. Years ago, when I was going through cancer therapy, and I was getting cabin fever, having to stay inside my house the whole time, Ken and I visited a Japanese garden when nobody else was there, and we sat long and quiet by the water lilies. And sitting there, going through the turmoil of cancer therapy, I sang, "Peace, peace, wonderful peace." It's a precious memory. And I hope this oil painting gives you a sense of peace as well.